Hello and welcome to Women of Influence podcast. Hi, I'm Jalen with the J Group Real Estate Team.
The Great American Speak Off.
One of my favorites.
Hello, everyone. Oh, Gogo is doing her thing. She's filming. She's always on camera. I love it. So welcome to another episode of Women of Influence. I am so excited today to have Miss Gogo Bethke. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. That was an amazing intro. I loved it.
Thank you. I think
That's a great video. Whoever put it together for you, they did amazing.
You know what? It was your team, Nick Krim and his team, that did it a long time ago for me. And I had my virtual assistant kind of tweak it a little bit. So thanks for introducing me.
That looked so good. You're so welcome.
Thank you. Before we get started, you and I have a lot in common, something very special that I think you'll find interesting. So believe it or not, I too met my husband at a bar on St. Patrick's Day.
No way.
Yes.
Let's see who won. How many years ago?
So we met in 2018 on St. Patrick's Day at a bar in Murrieta, California. And it was freaking freezing out. So tell me about your story, how you met your husband. Let's start there.
So I came to the U.S. on January 20th as an au pair back in 2003. And March 17th, I was already with my host parents in Michigan, and it was the first St. Patrick's Day. We don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Europe, at least not in Romania. And so with my au pair friends, we were going to the bar to check out what this St. Patrick's Day is about. So this is 2003, so I beat you by 15 years. And I met him in a bar. Well, I guess my husband, his name is Dwayne, he had a fling with a Spanish girl. And his friends knew that he likes foreign women, right? So one of his friends was going to the bathroom and he heard us girls. I was there with a Japanese friend, a French, and a German friend, and myself from Romania. So it's like every culture on earth, right? And so the four of us are talking, and he heard us talk and heard that we had an accent. And so he went back and he's like, "Hey, there's that chick. You would like her. She has an accent. She sits right by the bathroom," right? So Dwayne came over and we talked for like a hot minute and got my number. He left me a napkin with his name, address, email address, phone number, literally everything that he could give me. He gave it to me on a napkin. I still have it in our little booklet that we put together.
He clearly wasn't interested at all.
And then he waited officially 3 days to call me. That was a Tuesday. He called me on Friday. He asked me out on Saturday, and Sunday I met his parents. 2 months later, I was moved in. 2 months after that, we were married.
Oh my goodness, I love it. So my story was I met my husband at the bar on St. Patrick's Day, as I already mentioned, and we were just having the best time. And his pickup line to me was, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" I was like, "Nothing. Why? I serve at church in the morning, and then after that, I'm free. Why?" He's like, "Do you want to go yacht shopping?" I'm like, "Huh, yacht shopping? Really?" So in my mind, I'm thinking this guy is either a major douchebag or he's really going to take me yacht shopping. So the next morning, he picked me up after I was done serving at church, and we literally went shopping for boats. And I, of course, I had never been yacht shopping before. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I have to dress all fancy. I was wearing a fake fur coat. I was wearing like these tight, shiny black pants with heels. And of course, he shows up and he's wearing board shorts and flip-flops and a tank top because he's going yacht shopping. So that was an interesting first date, but also like you, we got engaged very, very quickly within about 3 months after we met. And then we got married 3 months after that. So I love that you and I have a similar story in common. That is so cool.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. You can't catch up because I'm going to live until like 90 some. So let's just keep the tempo. How about that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Married to the same fun guy from St. Patrick's Day at the bar forever.
Yes, absolutely. I plan to be married. My husband's name's Kelly, by the way.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
I will. Gogo says hi, babe. So, Gogo, you are a global entrepreneur. You're a massive attraction machine. You attract not only agents, but wealth and like just blessings to you and your family. And you have a global team of over 1,000 agents. You are named one of the top 125 most influential people, according to Success Magazine. I love that magazine. It's amazing. You're a keynote speaker, you're a coach, you're a motivator, you're a mentor, and you're from Romania. You came here with literally nothing. Tell us your story.
Oh gosh. That intro was so nice. Did my team redo my intro or did you do that? Because it sounded
Uh,
really good.
I totally made it up. I mean, I read it.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Um,
welcome.
so yes, I'm an immigrant. I was born and raised in Transylvania, Romania. I am Hungarian by nationality. I do speak Romanian as a second language, but if I speak Romanian would know right away that I'm not Romanian because I have a very strong accent. My real name is Gyöngyvér. Nobody could pronounce that. So my nickname was Gyögyö. Nobody can pronounce that either. So they call me Gogo here in the US. I knew that I'm going to live here when I was 8 years old. Romania was a communist country until then. And just as communism ended, my dad went and bought a color television and a VCR player, and he came home with 48 Hours by Eddie Murphy. That was the first time I ever saw a Black person, didn't know they existed. To me, he was the happiest human I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, I thought he was so funny. I thought he was so happy. And I remember as an 8-year-old, I just wanted to go where that man was at because I thought he was happy because of where he was at. What does an 8-year-old know, right? And so that's my first recollection. I'm going to America, not knowing that I didn't even know that he lived in America, right? Like, it's not like I knew I was going to America. I knew I'm going wherever he's at because he seems so happy where he's at, right? So that's pretty much how it started in my brain. And then, God always has a plan. Sometimes you don't know that plan ahead of time, but now looking back, I'm like, oh. So I was 8 at the time. I didn't come to the US until I was 21 years old. So I moved out from home when I was 14. My parents had a lot of rules, and I don't do very well people telling me what to do, in case you haven't noticed. And my dad used to, I know, right? And my dad used to say, child, these are, as long as you live under my roof, right? These are the rules. If not, that's the front door. And I was like, oh, rules, front door, rules, front door it is. Front door it is.
I like
So
the front door too.
yeah, I was like, I'm out of here. And at 14, I moved to religious high school, and it was a dormitory style high school. So I really never gone home once a month. And even then I went to my boyfriend. And then from there I went to, which was in a different county and in a city. And then from there I went to college in a different country. So I went to Hungary to college. I was in my third year of college when I had to pass an English exam, and my English was non-existent. And so I was like, well, I'll just go where they are at, the English speakers, right? Because I can learn it faster. So I decided to apply for 3 jobs. I applied for an au pair job, working on a cruise ship. And then the last one was working on an oil rig in the middle of the ocean.
Oh my goodness. Seriously, you did not want to do that.
Thank God that God doesn't answer all of our prayers. Let's just thank the Lord for that. I got all 3 jobs. Thank God the first one was the au pair job because I came as an au pair. I ended up coming as an au pair. And then in the US, I did all kinds of random jobs, right? I did anything from being a server in a restaurant to work in plastics department, the shipping, restaurant, food safety, shipping department of a warehouse, restaurant, food safety auditor. Like I had a random, I like to call it, I did a process of elimination, what I don't want to be when I grow up.
That is so good.
I even worked in a jewelry store. Like, you name it, I've done it, right? Like plastics department to a jewelry store, you name it, I've done it, right? And not until, so after we got pregnant or married and we got pregnant, our second child, actually, not the first one. The first one I worked full time. Second pregnancy, I worked full time at NSF International in the plastics department. Yeah, right. And then when our second was born, that's when he got really sick. And then I was pretty much let go, but in the same time, I wanted to stay home, and I could not imagine handing over my sick child to someone, right? So I stayed home for a while. In that stay-at-home period, I realized I'm not cut out to be a stay-at-home mom. No offense to all of you ladies that stay home. I take my hat off to you. It's the hardest job I ever done. I'm not sure if it's a good trait, but I do value myself of what I contribute to the family materialistically, like money wise, right? And I, it was messing with my self esteem. Then I wasn't making money, and I had to ask my husband for money. Right? And I was like, I just want to go make my own money. Like, I just want to make enough money so I can afford to go home to Romania every summer, and then we can afford every year a spring break with the kids. That's how I got into real estate. I thought that's what I'm going to be doing, is just selling enough homes to make extra money to go home and go on vacations. And I'm the sort of loser you ever meet. I'm super duper competitive. And when I got into real estate, I realized that 80% of the realtors don't make it. They give up in the first 2 years. And I was like, I'm not going to be that 80%. I have to be the 20%. And then out of the 20%, I realized the top 3% is 80% of the business, right? The rest is just kind of left for the average agent. And I was like, ooh, so I have to be in the top 3%, right? So I'm a very nerdy, I love numbers and trackers, and I'm a very nerdy person. And so I started working really hard of making sure that I am in the top 3%. And fast forward, as you mentioned, 1,000 agents, right? So I've been in the industry now since 2003. And 2011, came in 2003. So since 2011, I guess this is my 13th year. I went from being an individual agent to building a team, to building a downline over 1,000 agent at EXP, to having 9 companies at some point. Now today I don't have 9 because you live and learn. I shut some down and I severed some partnerships. So today I work Monday to Wednesday. Monday to Wednesday I work like a mad woman. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is off. And my goal is not necessarily to work hard anymore, is to work less and make more money and create the lifestyle that we want. So I'm definitely here to be chasing that American dream. Did I answer your question in a very short way? This is the shortest way I could.
Yes, you did. I love it. Thank you so much. So it's going to segue into my next question. You truly do understand the power of leverage. I mean, you've used it to build, let's just call it a little mini empire. Let's be real. So you've used the power of leverage, not only other people, but other people's money. So can you talk to us about how you've been able to utilize leverage to your benefit, and how at this point, you've got multiple streams of recurring revenue? Who doesn't want that?
So number one, I think the most important part there is so many lessons I had to learn. I don't even know where to start with this question. Number one, you have to know your hourly rate. You have to know every time that you do a certain task, how much money are you making? Is it worth for you to continue doing that task, or would it be worth more for you to hire it out? So for example, usually people start looking at that is when they run out of time. There's only one of you and there's only 24 hours. So if you want to make more money, you have to create more time or more you. Right? It's really that simple. So you have to think of it this way. Let's say you are mostly in real estate and you do buy side and listing side transactions. I want you to take the amount of money you made last year, the total. Don't count your fees and whatever else, right? Just how much money you made last year. And I want you to take that and divide it by 2,080. The reason why, if you worked healthy 40 hours, which none of us do, but let's assume that you do, right? Like I'm
getting my calculator out right now.
There you go, love it. So I want you to take your end number from last year and divide it by 2,080, 2080, and it's going to give you a number. And that number is your hourly rate. If you worked a healthy 40-hour week, that is your hourly rate. $240. There you go. So from now on, I want you to think about it this way. Let's say you hit your personal ceiling, because you're all going to hit a personal ceiling. If you do this thing right, you're going to hit a personal ceiling, which means you cannot possibly go sell another house because you ran out of time. There's only one of you. There's only this 24 hours in a day, right? So then you start thinking about, okay, hold on a minute. How can I make more money? I'm not done making money. How can I make more? I want to make more. Well, then there is, okay, I can go sell more homes. I don't have the time. I can sell more expensive homes, but I already was at the top. In our community, the average price range at a time was 270, 275, and I was at 412. So unless I wanted to break into the very super duper gated community where there's 6 homes in the neighborhood, right? It's not going to worth my time. So I had to figure out how to do that. So now that you know your hourly rate, I want to tell you this story, a very expensive load of laundry.
Okay.
So I want you to take a piece of paper and write on it, very expensive load of laundry, and I want you to stick it right above your laundry machine.
Okay.
And the reason why is this. Are you good at, do you qualify to run laundry, Jalen?
I do, but I don't touch it because my husband does it.
That's wonderful. But let's say for the sake of the conversation, then if you did, you know how to run laundry, your hands are not broken, you could run a load of laundry if you needed to, correct? Okay. How long does it take to run a load of laundry?
I mean, probably an hour, hour and
And
a
then
half.
fold it?
So yeah, maybe 10 minutes. So let's just say an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. Let's round it up to 2 hours.
So let's say it takes 2 hours to drop it in the washer, it washes it, throw it in the dryer, it dries it, then fold it and put it away. Probably takes longer because dryers take forever, but let's say 2 hours for the sake of the conversation. How much do you think it would cost for you to pay someone to come over and run a load of laundry for you per hour?
I would say maybe $20 an hour max.
Okay, so let's say 20 bucks an hour. Now they're going to do it for 2 hours, right? So now it's 40 bucks. What was your hourly rate?
My hourly rate was $240. So that load of laundry would have cost me almost $500. Wow. That is like so eye-opening. I want you all to do this exercise at home. Find out how expensive your load of laundry is. That is so good.
Because, most people look at it, yeah, but I can do it and I'm saving 40 bucks. You are not saving $40 per hour. You are losing 200 bucks, Jaylen. With your hourly rate per hour, you're losing 200. Because if you took that hour while someone is doing your laundry and you went and got yourself another client, you would be making 240, paying out 20, making two. Technically, no, 220 bucks you would be losing. Because 240 an hour minus 20 bucks an hour, it's 220 that you would be losing per hour versus making it. So what I want you to look at it, I am willing to pay for someone to help me with this task because that task frees up my time. And that time now in return, I can go and get myself another client who's going to make me that money. But even with this exercise, eventually going to hit the ceiling where you're going to get yourself so many clients that you don't have the time of the day to take care of them. This is when you have to multiply yourself. So then you say, okay, I'm going to remove all the buyers from my plate and I'm going to get myself a buyer's agent. So I only go listing appointments from now on. Then you get yourself an assistant. You should not be doing paperwork, right? And then you say, okay, I'm only doing listings. Well, eventually you're going to get to the point where you're not going to be able to do listings as either. So then you're going to get yourself a listing specialist. And then you're not going to have the time to back and forth emails and DMs and people inviting you to podcasts and this and that. And when are you available? Your assistant's going to have to take care of that. But also recently, another lesson that I learned regarding this is time, right? So if you think about it, does Tony Robbins has more than 24 hours a day?
No.
Does Oprah has more than 24 hours a day?
No.
Anybody that you look up to and then made a shit ton of money in their lifetime, do they have more than 24 hours a day?
Not that I can think of. Nope. Nobody.
So we were taught, at least I don't want to put words in your mouth, that time is money, right? In most cases, people go to college, they have a school loan, they learn a skill, they turn that skill into a salary, which means they're turning time for money.
Yeah.
But if truly time was money, then how does Tony Robbins, the same set of 24 hours a day, makes a trillion times more money than I do in this 24 hours a day?
I know. Isn't that crazy? Like we're all brainwashed on that note to, go to college, get a job, trade your time for money. And it's like, it's just not the way to get ahead in life and to end up with a life that's financially free and rewarding, right? Like, I don't have to tell you that.
You got it. So as we are growing in this, every time you learn a lesson, another door opens up. And then you learn that lesson and another door opens up, right? And eventually you realize, hold on, it's not worth my time. And sometimes, especially the people who are around me, and I might sound like a total asshole because I say, I'm sorry, that's not my job. It's not worth my time. Right? Even if it's an easy task of something, I know that I can take that 5 minutes and come over here and make my hourly rate. That is somebody else's job.
Yeah.
But you have to be super, almost like an asshole-ish to honor that for yourself. So you're never going to learn another load of laundry. You never walking your dog. It's not that I don't qualify to grocery shop, but I don't grocery shop. I literally have 17 assistants. Pretty much everything in my life is hired out.
17 assistants. Wow. I have 2, which I'm happy with those. So speaking of, you mentioned you have to kind of sound like an asshole sometimes. And I remember watching one of your videos and you were saying that when God was handing out filters, you missed the line or something, like you were
I
not
skipped that
born
line.
with a filter.
Yeah, I skipped that line. Yes, I did.
Yeah. Has that ever gotten you into trouble?
Oh, I'm sure I have put my foot in my mouth a trillion times, right? The other skill that also, when God gave self-confidence, I got in line a couple of times. When God gave out, not giving a fuck, excuse my French, I also stayed in line a couple of times, right? You know that book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck? I think I got it somewhere. I don't want to say it out loud. But that's how I feel like certain traits will also have to come with a couple other certain traits, right? So if you want to be very vocal, then you also have to be okay that people are going to have an opinion, and then you have to learn not to care about it, right? So the two things go hand in hand for me. My friends are the best one to tell you of the things, and I say, so like my husband even says, Gogo, how do you even have friends? I don't understand how you have friends. Because don't ask me how your butt looks in those jeans, because I'm going to tell you then if they don't look good, right? But the way I look at it is, would you want to have a friend that lies to your face? Because I certainly don't want to have friends that lie to my face. I want you to be brutally honest with me. If I look hideous in that outfit, you freaking better tell me before we leave the door.
Yeah, absolutely. But what if you think you look fabulous in that outfit? Are you still going to listen to your friend?
No, but I appreciate their opinion if they say that I look hot or I have food in my teeth, right? Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for letting me know. So I'm sure that it didn't affect me because I don't care about their opinion.
Don't care. You're like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I look at it that not everybody's my people, and I'm okay with that. I'm really, as Brankov says it, I'm looking for the people who are looking for me. So if I'm going to offend someone, they're not my people.
That is so good. If I could take what you have and like put it in a bottle and like market it and sell it for like $1 gazillion, I mean, that would be amazing.
It makes life so much easier for all of us, right? To realize that if I am not your cup of tea, that's okay. Like, I'm really just
Absolutely.
looking for my people, and I want everybody to have their people and be absolutely 100% happy of who they are in this world. Also, another thing that will help you with that is this book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. If you've never seen this book, it's one of my favorite. This is really chapter 11. You know it? Yeah.
Yes.
Chapter 11 is the one that taught me to accept my uniqueness. And I'm going to read it very quick.
Yes,
I am
please.
nature's greatest miracle. Since the beginning of time, never has there been another with my mind, my heart, my eyes, my ears, my hands, my hair, my mouth. None that come before, none that live today, none that come tomorrow can walk and talk and move and think exactly like me. All men are my brothers, but yet I am different from each. I am a unique creature. I am nature's greatest miracle.
I love that. That is so good. That's one of my favorite books, actually. I think I'm going to go read it again tonight. And it's a very short read. So it's
Very
very,
short.
yes, get through it in maybe an hour max, I would say. But thank you so much. I just love you so much. So now, Gogo, I know that you just launched your TV show last year called Gogopreneur. So what was the impetus behind that? What was the driving force?
So, well, they reached out to me if I want to have a TV show, and I was like, what a great idea. But what do I know about TV show? How do you run a TV show, right? And how can I even fit it into my life? So really, I wanted to do something up to recently, I would say probably up to 2 years ago. Everything I did was always in the real estate world, even though today I do so many other things, right? I was flying a few months ago, and this gentleman asked me, what do you do for a living? And I was like, what do I do for a living? Right? It's like I do so much and so many different things. So I didn't want it to be entrepreneurial anymore. Sorry, real estate anymore. I wanted to be entrepreneurial. So I was playing with the words, and I was like, okay, I want Gogo brand, Gogopreneur. So that's how the idea started. And really, it's just everything as I learn, as I grow up in this industry, right? And as my life is changing by the life lessons and I'm learning, I want to share that. also want to show insight so people can see what it's like in my life. What are the everydays? What does it actually take? There's an amazing episode in there about all of my assistants and what they do for me. So if anybody's watching this, that you want to understand better of what that actually looks like, of how much help I have and how they help me, go to gogopreneur.com. I'm not exactly sure which episode it is, but you can watch it there and see it in action. So the idea behind it is really just to share my knowledge and to allow insight into my everyday life, so they can see what it takes. I also want to show the person that I put forward, like who I am to the business world. Like there's good, bad, and the ugly, right? Sometimes the ugly doesn't get out, and I want people to know all sides of what it takes to be an entrepreneur, because not every day is sunny and 75, right? And so the show also has opinions of other people of me that get to spend time with me on the personal level to kind of explain the personality behind what it actually takes, right? So it's not just my opinion and my life, it's also how other people are affected by being around me.
Got it.
It's not pretty.
I love it. I started watching one of your episodes. I guess it was the first one of you introducing yourself and talking about yourself. That's where I got a lot of my notes today. But anyway, really, really great stuff. So another question I wanted to ask you, the saying, behind every great man, there's a great woman. You're obviously a great woman. Conversely, I think we should say behind every great man, or you know what I mean? So
yes,
the saying is,
yeah, in our case, it's reverse. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So how much are you and your husband, Dwayne, together, like on the daily?
So we are together all day, every day. So our life has flipped, right? So if you think about, Dwayne used to work and his money was paying for the bills, and I was a stay-at-home mom for a while, right? So I was living off of his money, so sad. And then right around age 29, I started to do the whole soul searching, and I figured out I could be a really good entrepreneur and started doing that kind of stuff, right? And today is totally different. Today is Dwayne's retired. So sad. He runs, I mean, don't get me wrong, poor guy is not retired. Like he runs, make sure everything runs in the background, right? We own 3 properties now. We have our Michigan home, we are Florida home, and now the beach condo. We also have some apartment building syndications, and then the different companies that we have. And then we have 2 children, one of whom is type 1 diabetic. We have a dog. So it's like, like we have life and business happening. So he's doing that in the background. But I always joke and say that he's going to get a Nobel Peace Prize one day for putting up with me for going on 20 years now. Our 20th wedding anniversary is August.
I love it. August what?
11th.
August 11th. So my husband and I are also together pretty much 24/7. We're attached at the hip. We like literally don't go anywhere without one another unless we absolutely have to. But he's definitely instrumental in, I wouldn't say he's behind the scenes with my business. I call him the closer. He's the master closer. He can close anybody. If we're having an issue with a client, like, Uncle Kelly, come on in, close this one. So he's truly amazing. I love spending time with him. We are truly blessed.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I feel like he has quality. God is great how he puts people together, right? So he has qualities that I don't. So for example, Dwayne is, you would think that I'm very social and outgoing and I'm life of a party. I'm the polar opposite of that. Like if I'm in a party, I'm probably sleeping on your couch because I'm exhausted from overworking myself, right? And so Dwayne is like the people person. He's the host when we have people over. He's the fun mayor, the fun governor, as I like to call him. Not that he kills the party, the opposite. I call fun governor somebody who's like, just make sure everybody's having fun, everybody has a drink. Like he's a great host when I don't have those skills. And it's like, if I have to go to a party without Dwayne, I'd rather not even go. Like I'm not, or have people over when Dwayne's not home. Nope, not gonna do it, right? And so we went from him working full-time in corporate America and traveling internationally to being home all the time, and then now started working together. So not only that he's home all the time, now we work together all day, every day, right? So it totally flipped, but over this experience, he became my best friend.
I love that so much. And what better to have your best friend to spend the rest of your life with, right? So Gogo,
I imagine my life without him.
I know, me neither, without mine. Yeah, Gogo, I love the fact that you are also a kingdom entrepreneur. You always bring up God and Jesus in your social media and your videos. And that's one of the things that I love most about you is your relationship with God. Did you always have a relationship with God, or what does that look like?
So I want to say I got lucky. It's not that my parents are not religious, so sad. They believe that there's a God, but we weren't like every Sunday, let's go to church kind of people, right? And I found God on my own. When I went to high school, it was a religious high school. So we had what's called silencium every morning, which is quiet praying time. Or we would sing hymns and those kind of things, or read Bible verses and those kind of things. And that's really when I started finding God on my own, between the ages of 14 and 18. And then I just, for as much as I have gone through in my life, and I'm a little 5'2" blondie, right, with a big mouth and an opinion, right, about everything in the world. The fact that nothing ever happened to me, I know for a fact that I am guided and protected. I have to be, right? So I also know that I am created by something way larger than me. And this is why I like to go to the ocean, because for whatever reason, God to me is on the beach. So I go and walk the beach by myself all the time. And that's where I talk to God, right? And it makes me feel so tiny, realizing how vast the ocean is, right? And you're just that, like, just at that time, like it could kill you in 2 seconds, right? And that's what makes me realize that I'm so little and so insignificant to how big this universe is, and for how much detail God has put into these tiny little pieces that we make the universe together, right? And also, even though we are so tiny, we are so detailed. Like he has thought of every tiny detail in our bodies, right down to the fact that not a single one of us or have a different fingerprint, right? So I think I must be late to another appointment because my phone is blowing up. Yes, I am.
Uh-oh.
So thank you so much for having me. I'm 5 minutes late to my next meeting. But yes, I believe that God has created all of us. And in the same sentence, I also believe, I call sometimes universe, right? I believe that we have, I believe it's very complex. I believe we all have angels. I believe that we are guided. I believe that we are protected. I believe that we are created by a higher good. I believe that there is an afterlife or simultaneous life. I don't believe that we go anywhere. I believe that our souls are forever. What is it called? Eternal.
Eternal, infinite. Well, amen, sister. God bless you. Thank you so much, Gogo, for being on my show. It's such a pleasure. And I wish you all the blessings in the world.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so sorry I have to cut it short.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.